However, law enforcement is a bastion of justice, a place where criminals are brought to account. Sometimes it is precisely those who should protect the law who cross its boundaries in illegal ways. Hidden behind uniforms and badges, they corrupt the system using their power and influence for personal gain. They believed they were untouchable, above the law, but they faced a harsh reality, a deserved punishment for their crimes. In today's film, we present the story of the most corrupt police officers who finally received a one-way ticket. Life sentences in prison. Joseph Mianavias. Joseph Mianavias was a former Chicago police officer sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Joseph joined the Chicago Police Department in the late 1970s. He was respected by his colleagues for his commitment to his duties, which led to his promotion to the gang crime unit. This position allowed him to deepen his knowledge of local gang activities, taking advantage of this situation to create a complex network of connections in the underworld, which later proved to be key to his illegal activities. Mianovius maintained the image of a serious police officer by day and became the leader of a criminal organization by night. During his 22 years of service, he received 58 commendations for bravery and arrests, earning public recognition for numerous drug and illegal weapons-related arrests. However, secretly, he revealed the identity of undercover agents to gangs, protected drug trafficking organizations, distributed crack, and supplied ammunition to gang members. He was accused of running a huge criminal drug trafficking empire that extended beyond state borders. In the late 1990s, the FBI received information about corruption in the CPD. After an exhaustive investigation, substantial evidence was gathered against Joseph, including testimonies from gang members incriminating him. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, marking the spectacular fall of a once respected police officer. The conviction of Mianovius led to the dismantling of the gang crime unit. Len Davis. Len Davis was a New Orleans police officer convicted of conspiracy. In the 1980s, he joined the New Orleans Police Department, where he was responsible for patrolling. Len was known for his tough approach and rough demeanor, setting him apart from the rest of the officers. During his turbulent career, he was suspended 6 times, and between 1987 and 1992, he accumulated 20 complaints. Despite this, he received the department's Medal of Merit in 1994. In the course of a large federal operation, Davis was caught extorting protection from local cocaine dealers. Len accepted a bribe from an FBI informant, leading to his downfall. That same year, Davis mistook a young man for a suspect and brutally beat him. Kim Groves, a 32-year-old mother of 3, witnessed the incident and reported it to the police department. When Davis found out about the complaint, he began planning Groves's murder. This plan was discovered by federal agents who intercepted Davis' phone. A conversation was recorded in which Davis discussed the murder with drug dealer Paul Hardy. Shortly after, Hardy killed Groves, proving it was not just talk. Federal authorities quickly reacted, arresting Davis and Hardy. The case became a national sensation. Davis was convicted in 1996 for civil rights violations and ordering a murder. He was originally sentenced to death, marking the first case in which a police officer was sentenced to capital punishment for a crime committed in the line of duty. In later trials, the sentence was changed to life imprisonment, although another jury believed he deserved the death penalty. Davis is currently in a federal death cell in Terre Haute, Indiana. David Carrick. David Carrick was a British police officer known for a series of rapes committed in England. Carrick was born on January 4, 1975, and before joining the police, he briefly served in the British Army. In 2001, he joined the police force, where he worked as an armed officer responsible for protecting Parliament and diplomats. His domestic violence was not a secret to his employers, but this did not prevent him from obtaining a certificate as a police officer. After 15 years of service due to his tendency towards brutality, his co-workers gave him a vulgar, unofficial nickname. From 2003 to 2020, Carrick was responsible for harassing and raping several women he met through dating apps. He used his position as an armed police officer to gain their trust and then commit sexual assaults. Carrick's violence included physical assaults, tying up his victims, and controlling their clothing, diet, and sleeping place, sometimes depriving them of food. The situation changed in October 2021 when one of the victims reported Carrick to the police, accusing him of rape and kidnapping. That same month, Carrick was arrested and suspended from his police duties. On February 7th, Carrick was sentenced to 36 life terms. The judge noted that the possibility of early parole would be possible after May 2nd, 2052, but only in the case of good behavior. Wayne Couzens was a former high-ranking officer of the Metropolitan Police Service in London and the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Team. Born in 1972, his name became synonymous with a series of sexual offenses and murders. The situation shocked the entire country, leading to national calls for police service reforms. On March 3, 2021, Sarah Everard, a 33-year-old marketing executive, disappeared while walking home from a friend's house in South London. This disappearance led to an intense search operation and gained significant media attention. The situation took a tragic turn when her remains were found in a forest in Kent County a week later. The investigation led to the arrest of Couzens, which was a shock given his position in the police. In a case that stunned the nation, the former police officer was convicted of kidnapping, raping, and murdering the victim. The fact that an on-duty officer committed such an atrocity had a profound impact on the public perception of law enforcement. This led to a national debate on the safety of police procedures. Everard's disappearance and death led to a series of public protests, including a vigil in Clapham Common that ended with the controversial use of force by the police to disperse the attendees. This incident only intensified public scrutiny of police behavior and their response to peaceful protests. After Couzens' conviction, the Metropolitan Police Service issued a public apology and announced an internal investigation. The Independent Office for Police Conduct also launched an investigation into the vetting procedures and allegations against Couzens. As a result of his crimes, Wayne Couzens was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This sentence was announced by the Old Bailey in September 2021, meaning Couzens will spend the rest of his life in prison. Roy Oliver. Roy Oliver was a former police officer from Balch Springs, Texas. Roy was born on April 2, 1979. Before becoming a police officer, he served as a sergeant in the United States Army, completing 2 deployments in Iraq. His military experience was valued when he joined the Balch Springs Police Department in 2011. On the night of April 29, 2017, Roy Oliver responded to a call about minors drinking at a house party. During the intervention, a car carrying 5 teenagers left the scene. Oliver, who was with his partner, claimed the car was aggressively heading towards his colleague. Responding to the perceived threat, he fired several shots from his rifle at the vehicle, killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards, a passenger in the car. However, body camera footage contradicted Oliver's version, showing the vehicle moving away from the officers, not towards them. The video also showed that Oliver fired at the vehicle within seconds of exiting the patrol car, discrediting his claim that he had no other option but to use lethal force. This discrepancy between Oliver's version and the video evidence was key in his subsequent trial. A week after the incident, Oliver was fired from the police. On May 5, 2017, he was charged with murder. His trial began in Dallas County in August 2018. Prosecutors presented the body camera footage as key evidence, arguing that Oliver's decision to shoot at the moving vehicle was reckless and that he did not adequately assess the situation before using lethal force. On the other hand, the defense argued that Oliver acted to protect his partner, contending that he only had fractions of a second to react to the perceived threat. On August 28, 2018, Oliver was found guilty of murder, representing one of the few cases of a police officer being convicted for an on-duty shooting in the U.S. the next day. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison and fined $10,000. The victim's family considered the sentence too lenient, while others saw it as a significant step towards holding police accountable for the misuse of force. Thanks for staying until the end of the video. See you in the next edition. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and always remember to subscribe to The Daily Astonishing.